Grod Atkinson here, and very excited to be talking to you today about Canon's new sport and wildlife camera, which is called the 1DX Mark II. Canon South Africa have very kindly allowed me the use of a beta version of one of the new 1DX Mark II cameras. So I've actually managed to get several thousand shots under the belt. Right away, we're gonna start with the ergonomics of the camera. So when you pick it up, you might feel that the grip fits people who have slightly smaller hands just a tiny bit better. It seems as if it's been trimmed down a little around the fingers here, so it's easier to reach the controls at the back. So that's definitely a little bit more comfortable. Moving around to the back of the camera, the autofocus joysticks also have a broader surface and a little bit more comfortable on the thumb. So when it comes to autofocus, the 1DX Mark II's got 61 focus points. What Canon have done with this new camera is they've expanded the autofocus coverage. So some of the points go a little higher and a little wider, which is helpful. It helps you with composition. I'm personally a little cautious of autofocus points going all the way to the edge of the screen because there is less light coming in from the lens, and I'm quite happy with just a slight expansion. The camera already covers a big area. The 61 points expanded, but also more sensitive in lower light. So if you're shooting in really low light indoors, that extra low light focusing ability will be a benefit. What's also new with the autofocus is on the 1DX Mark II, the autofocus points and grid light up in red. So that harks back to Canon's earlier 1D series, the 1D Mark III, 1D Mark IV. Image quality on the 1DX Mark II is improved, and that is big news, perhaps the biggest news for me of all. So the first thing is the camera's got 2 more megapixels of resolution, and as a wildlife photographer, we always value a little bit more resolution. We often can't get close enough to our subjects, and we have to crop our photos, so more resolution helps us. One of the most impressive things about this new camera is the image quality at high ISO. I've been shooting it at ISOs of 1600 to 6400 without any qualms about the image quality. 6400 ISO shots, I might have to do a little bit of noise reduction, but I'm totally confident that I'll easily be able to use high ISO images like that for printing or publishing. What I also found was even higher ISOs, up to 10,000, delivering nice high contrast, finely detailed images. I needed to do a little noise reduction, but I've got ISO 10,000 images that I would be happy to print. The guys at Canon have been really excited about the top speed or the frame rate of the 1DX Mark II. And if you haven't seen or heard about it, it shoots at 14 frames a second with autofocus taking place between every frame. So if you need those high frame rates and you need as many frames as you can to choose a critical wing position from photographing a bird in flight or an animal running, certainly the 1DX Mark II holds an advantage. If you haven't heard or seen what it sounds like, I'm going to just give it a burst. So pretty impressive. But what's just as important for me, once you have a camera with a high frame rate, is the buffer capacity. I quite often shoot wildlife action that continues for a long time, and if my camera doesn't have a big enough buffer, that can be a problem. The new camera can shoot up to 93 images, that's at ISO 800. If you want to take that even further on the 1DX Mark II, we can open the back door and have a look at the card. So I chose to use a 160 megabyte a second UDMA 7 card. You'll see there's a second card slot at the back of the camera. and that is a new card format for Canon. It's CFast. So I didn't choose to use a CFast card, but if you do, you can basically double the 93 images that I got. So the CFast card as well is pretty much essential if you're going to be using the camera for video or 4K video. We've had a little listen at how quickly the camera can shoot, and we've also seen how long it can shoot for. The 1DX Mark II also has a new silent mode options. It's got single silent mode, which is one shot at a time. Okay, so we're in silent mode, and I'm going to trip the shutter. So that was one shot. Aside from the noise advantage, what's new on the 1DX2 is that there's extended silent mode options. So we can now have silent mode continuous. It can shoot at 5 frames a second. So guys who shoot out of hides, nervous animals, very close proximity to wildlife are going to utilize and appreciate the silent mode. If you do find that the silent mode is still too noisy for you, one of the big advances on the 1DX Mark II is the new autofocus in live view. So the camera is the first full frame Canon to have dual pixel autofocus capabilities, and you can see even in this indoor scenario with low light, it focuses very quickly in live view. So you can actually shoot it in live view if you need to be even quieter. The advances that come with the dual pixel autofocus sensor and live view are not just quiet shooting. It also means you can hold the camera at angles that you wouldn't easily be able to get yourself to and still get autofocus to operate. The dual pixel autofocus is also fast enough and accurate enough to be used for video. So it takes the camera a big step forward. Something that I was quite happy about with the new camera is the compatibility that Canon has managed to maintain with regard to batteries. So the 1DX Mark II has a brand new battery in it. It extends the shooting capability. I a couple of times shot around about 800 images on a charge and still had 65% left. Canon have kept the same battery shape and contacts. So if we pop out that battery, we can use the battery out of the 1DX. It'll give us a little less capacity, but they're still interchangeable. And even better for some folk, if you're using your 1D Mark IV or 1D Mark III, you can take your LPE4 and just pop that in. So with the oldest of the batteries, the shooting performance might slow down a little bit to 10 frames per second, but it's totally compatible. Quite a useful feature to have built into the new camera, making it easy again to use several of these cameras at the same time. Things that are critical for a wildlife photographer like myself are autofocus, image quality, and the camera's responsiveness and capacity. The array of improvements that Canon have made to the 1DX Mark II definitely make it a more capable all-round camera. The 1DX Mark II is by some margin the best camera from Canon that I've ever used for wildlife photography. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep getting videos about Canon gear from a wildlife photographer's perspective.